Hey everybody, it's Mike with plantbaseddiet.org. Hope you had a great weekend. It's Monday, like a little bit into the early afternoon on Eastern Standard Time, and we had a great weekend. Denise and I had a really busy, great weekend. We did a run with Bishop's Events like we normally do, and we both got placing in there, which is great. And then we did Wake Forest Veg Fest yesterday in Wake Forest, North Carolina, which is just outside of Raleigh, and that went really well. And if you're joining us and you want to type and you're out there listening to us, please go ahead and type something, type hi, whatever you want. And actually, if you're in a Facebook group, I'm not going to get your message, but go to VeganVideos.info. You'll see the live stream, the same live stream you're watching now, wherever you're watching it, and you can watch us there. So let's get into the video real quick without going on any more about the weekend. Although, if you want to know about our upcoming events, go to plantbasedevents.info. Plantbasedevents.info, and that's our calendar. So, okay, back pain. All right, I know a lot about back pain. Okay, I think anybody who is familiar with back pain knows that it is like the worst kind of pain you can ever imagine. When that pain is happening, it's terrible. It's debilitating. I mean, for me, it was almost like paralyzing. Now, I am 49 years old right now. Okay, and I've been working for a living. I'd say since I was about well supporting a household anyway since I was about 20 years old. All right. And before that, I was working, doing work outdoors. And I will tell you that, to give a little background, I am somebody that has a very sensitive back. I feel like I'm very sensitive to a lot of things. And back pain is especially one of them, which is why I want to do this video for you guys to give you my insights and my experience dealing with back pain and what I ended up having to do. So another thing you got to know about me is I'm taller than average, and I think that if you're taller than average, you typically have longer legs than average, and if you do, then you have to reach down further to the ground than the average person. So most people pick things up wrong. So I think that if you're taller than average, the likelihood that you might have back problems, assuming everything else is equal, same type of lifestyle, same type of job, that you might have more problems, especially if it involves picking things off the ground. And I just did. What reminded me of this, I wanted to make this video a week or so ago, but I got wrapped up in Wake Forest Veg Fest. And when I was at Wake Forest Veg Fest, this reminded me that I was lifting things all day. I was moving things all day, and my back is great. My back is totally fine. Okay? And it's not just because of something random or because I happen to be absolutely perfect and didn't pick up anything wrong. I'm sure I probably did during the day. But I think just like a lot of the stuff, and this is why I'm talking about back pain, we talk a lot about lifestyle here through the nonprofit. And I believe your lifestyle actually determines whether you're going to have these types of problems. And I would also lump into back pain other similar issues, and I would call them similar, and I'll tell you why, like hip issues and knee issues. And I do believe that knee, hip, and back issues, I believe that probably the majority of these things are caused by weighing too much, simply weighing too much. If you've got, there's the BMI. I'll like this, like a lot of videos I'll make for folks who are in a wide range of knowledge. But if you're not familiar with the BMI, your body mass index, you can go on an internet search. You can find the Department of Health, or I can't remember what it is. There's many different websites that list BMI calculators. Okay, you type in your weight, you type in your height, just make sure your height's accurate. Usually you're actually taller when you get up. You're the tallest when you get up. You're shorter during the day. If you're gonna weigh yourself, make sure it's a good time and you haven't just gone number 2 or whatever. I don't even know, but use something that you normally would calculate as your average weight. Okay, not a super low, super high. And then given that, that's going to give you your body mass index. Now, for me, most of my life, I have been right in the middle of the body mass index, which is great. And there's a lot of people that say that the body mass index is a scam. And I believe that my own thoughts are of most of the ranges of health, and a BMI is like a health range that the government provides to you. I think that it's probably one of the most accurate ones out there, I think, because the average person just weighs too much. Now, what happens when you weigh too much? you start to, the weak points get hit. The weak points are your back, your hips, your knees. And it's not just like, oh, okay, I got to lose 10 pounds or 20 pounds or 30 pounds. Your body doesn't view it like that. Your body views it generally any kind of excess weight is a problem for sure. And I mean, it's like just try carrying around an extra 10-pound backpack wherever you go, and just that's the effect of 10 pounds that you're not used to, that you're not used to. Your body doesn't want to be out of the normal range. So, you know, the problem is it puts exponential many times pressure increases on the joints. So that's where the back issues come into play, and the knee issues and the hip issues, because you're getting like exponential increases in pressure. So I don't care what you claim your lifestyle is. If you are outside of that BMI, you've got to bring it into control. That's number one. That's probably gonna, I'm not gonna solve all your back problems. We're gonna get into why, but that's gonna make you, the odds of you having a healthy back significantly better than if you were to weigh too much. So take that into consideration. Now, the other thing is you've got to learn how to pick things up right, and that's why I brought, me being taller than average into the equation here, because I have to spend a lot more time picking things up correctly. I have to have more room to pick things up correctly. Now, why? Because you're supposed to bend at your knees when you pick things up off the ground. All right, maybe you don't know that, but I can tell you I know this for a fact, because if I even pick up a piece of paper wrong by bending into my back and not bending my knees, it has a potential to throw my back out. And when I say throw my back out, I'm talking about more my lower back. I'm talking about that stinging back pain. And a lot of times, helping people move will do that. And it also, your lifestyle includes your job. I have worked outside for a lot of my life, especially when I was younger, before I started supporting my own household at age 20. And then after that too, for a good decade or so, I worked almost exclusively outside, outdoors, doing in my landscape business, which I still have. I've talked about this here before. And when you're working all day every day and you're doing that type of work, the chance of you getting hurt or hurting your back is significantly higher than with people sitting indoors. At least I thought anyway. You'd think that, right? And I do still think that. I think that plays a lot into it. But I think that the real issue, this is what I want to get into here with your back. I believe the real issue is the seats that we all sit on, because I think that most people, or most seats that almost everyone sits on, are improperly designed. I think that they're designed to look cool or say they have some kind of orthopedic this or whatever, but it's all a bunch of BS as far as I'm concerned, because I have never came across a seat that truly does what it's supposed to do. Now, what's a seat supposed to do? Well, I'd say ideally, if you're some type of I consider it a medical device, okay, like a chiropractic medical device, something like that, you would want your back, the curvature of your back. It's not supposed to be straight up and down. It's not supposed to have some bulge somewhere. I don't know. There's like a smooth curve that you're supposed to have in your back. That's what your seats are supposed to do for you. And if they don't do that, at least someone like me with a very, very sensitive back, if the seats don't do that, and you spend a lot of time sitting, which most people do, and that's, especially if you don't work outdoors, you spend a lot of time sitting, you're either hurting or helping your back. It's either one or the other. Okay, I don't really see any in between in this, because if your back is supposed to be curved a certain way and supposed to remain at rest when you're sitting, you'd think you're at rest, right? Well, if your seat is designed improperly, which almost every seat is, you're not only not going to be at rest, but you're going to be injuring your back during this time. And this is something I learned years ago, actually decades ago, because my back, as soon as I started supporting my own household in 1990, when I was 20 years old, around that time, was it 90? No, 91. I started getting it, but 91 was like full time doing that. And into 92, I was just pushing myself as hard as I could, making sure I got all the bills paid, taking every job I could in the landscape business. Most of them I was working on my own. I had some jobs that were huge that I hired people for, but I was really just working most of this on my own. So I had to be smart about it, and I had to take care of myself. And I really thought, even way back then, okay, that, oh, this is just the wrong profession for me. I really can't be doing this because I'm really sensitive to a lot of things, and then hurting my back was one of the things I thought I'm really noticing I'm sensitive to. It's causing me a problem. This is like the wrong job for me, and in a lot of ways it is the wrong job. But any kind of manual labor is tough work, it's hard work, but it's also very good because you're getting exercise. Okay, that's the problem with indoor jobs. I don't care if the air is completely purified and perfect, which it is not in most buildings. It's usually worse than outside. So don't think that. But even if the air is better or other benefits are better, if you're not moving, sitting is the new smoking. It's been that way for a while now. Sitting is definitely the new smoking. I'm sitting here talking to you right now. I'm not moving, but I'm going to start moving in a second because I want to show you something. I want to show you what I've done. What I found in the early 90s. I remember. I guess I was listening to the radio. I don't listen to the radio anymore. I don't watch TV. I don't do any of that stuff. It's been such a long time. But there was a radio host called Paul Harvey. Some of you may remember. This is kind of what got me onto this. He used to advertise this device called Obisform. And has anybody ever heard of Obisform? Let me know. Let me show you what it looks like. I've got one right here in this chair. Basically, it's one of these backrests. You stick it in any chair. Okay, it's got a strap. See that strap? Yeah, the strap. Look at all that hair on it. You can fit it on any chair and get the sideway view of it again. It's basically just a backrest, and it's curved. See, this part right up here is curved in a certain way, an exact specific way. Did you see the Obisform? There, you can see the Obisform label right there. Right there, Obisform. It's curved in an exact specific way, and what this looks like really isn't that much big deal. Except that you should know it's not that big. It's big in front of the camera because I'm holding it, but I just pulled it from my back. I'm going to put it back behind me again. Because whenever you use it, okay, when you're not using it, the chance of you, even if you're not in a chair and you're sitting back on something, the chance of you putting your spine into that perfect alignment is like next to nothing. You're not going to be able to do it. And the chance of that chair or that seat that you're in, I'm talking about car seats, I'm talking about desk chairs, I don't care how much money you spent on it, the chance of that seat actually putting your back into the exact right spot to keep it at rest, which is what it needs to be. It needs to be at rest. When you start moving around, you're working it, right? So that's when it's designed, that's when you got to have it, why you have to have it healthy, because it works at that point in time. And if it's not working right, it's going to give you all kinds of pain to tell you that something's wrong. But if you take the time to rest it, and even sometimes sleep isn't resting it, because what I found I had to do, this is how I learned all this, back in the early 90s, when my back got hurt, which was regularly, all right? That's why I thought the job was wrong. And I wasn't using Obisform at the time. I was not using it. I had to lay flat and still, like totally flat, even on a floor would be better for like a day, and only move if I had to go to the bathroom. That was it, or maybe get something to eat. That's it. And even that, I didn't want to have to move because I found in watching how I recovered from these things that my back was obviously injured and it needed to recover. And once it fully recovered, and it could only recover through rest. Okay, just like any kind of injury, like if you're working out at the gym, yeah, working out at the gym, you got to tear those muscles apart and they rebuild better and stronger. But you've got to let that rebuilding place happen, and it has to happen correctly. Otherwise, that pain's not going to go away. And your back pain, as you know, is horrible. Anybody has back pain, let me know in the comments. It's terrible. It's like the worst pain ever. Couldn't do anything. So for me, I had a lot of motivation because I didn't have any benefits back then. All right. Some of you guys, or most of you guys, probably have benefits, right? If your back hurts so bad, then you just don't go into work and you get paid anyway, right? But I didn't get paid. I lost a tremendous amount of money in addition to not getting paid because those jobs would not necessarily come back, or I would, just miss new opportunities that would never again appear. Opportunities just suddenly appear, but a lot of times they never appear again. Michelle Gonzalez, hey, thanks for commenting. I know you mentioned you have pain. Yeah, it's bad. So I don't know if have you just joined me now? I don't know if you heard what I said earlier. I can repeat some things, but I'm getting into the real important stuff here right now, which is this device. Let me get it again. It's very portable. This device called the Obisform. All right, it's just a backrest. Has a little Obisform label on it here, so you can see it's Obisform. And This is my secret. That's what I'll tell you. It's my secret. And I can't survive without it, because what it does is, okay, you just joined in. Everything's backwards on these cameras. Yeah, pull that. This shirt is too big. I'm doing laundry. Anyway, this obus form, what it does is, Michelle, I'll give you the catch you up very quickly. I've recognized over many decades that almost every seat out there is designed improperly. I don't care if it's your car seat. I don't care how much money you spend on your car. I don't care if it's a desk chair and how much money you spend on that. It's designed wrong. Your back needs to be at a certain exact curvature to be at rest, so that it is recovering during the time that you're sitting. Because if it's not recovering during the time that you're sitting, here's what I found through my own trial and error: you're hurting your back. So not only are you not resting it, but you're further injuring it. Okay? I used to have trouble on long distance car trips. Anybody out there have trouble sitting in long distance car trips? Your back starts to hurt. Does that sound familiar? Anybody have trouble? Your back starts to hurt after sitting in your desk chair for so many hours. You got to get up and move because your back hurts. Not because you just want to stretch and get the blood going, but because you're actually getting back pain. All right, that's what I was getting. I recognized that, okay, yeah, I probably was injuring myself in my landscaping business. A lot of physical activity, manual labor. That was not helping. But I was also not getting the rest, because whenever I'd go sit down, I think, oh, okay, I'm resting. I'm just sitting, right? I'm not moving. But no, if the seat is not designed properly, you're hurting your back. And there's also another equation of weight in there. Make sure you're at the correct BMI. If you're not the correct BMI, if you're too high, you're going to exponentially put more stress on things like your back, your hips, and your knees. That's also what I mentioned. But you're caught up now. So we're into the obus form now. This obus form is the absolute solution. Now, I mentioned back pain solution as the title of this video. This is truly a solution. Okay, I've talked with several folks recently about this, and every time they say they have back pain, they say it's so bad, it hurts, and I'm like, yes, I know. I can remember that back pain like it was yesterday, but I haven't had it in so many years now. So many years. It's a combination of being careful with how you pick things up, being at the proper weight, and having it's got to be perfect seating environments. If you don't have perfect seating environments, you're going to be hurting your back in addition to not giving it the rest it needs. So now that I'm using obus form, like I'm using obus form right now, you gotta just make sure it's centered, because sometimes it moves off a little bit. Oh, and don't use that little thing that comes with it. There's like a little lumbar thing with Velcro. I never use that. The way the device is designed, that I found, it is designed perfectly. Okay, it's got the seal of the American and Canadian Chiropractors Associations as a medical device. It's $50 or so on Amazon.com. That's where I get it. I don't even have a link. I'm not making any money. I'm just telling you guys to go get it. If you have any kind of back pain, Michelle, get this device. $50-something device. Obus form. It's the low back rest. You don't get the extra wide one unless you are significantly high in the BMI. Maybe you do need it. Don't use that little insert like I was saying. It's like the $50 one. If you have any questions, write it here in the comments. I'll respond to you. I'll tell you, yeah, that's it or not. And it works. So basically, this is therapy for me. That's how I describe it. This is back therapy, back resting. So like whenever I'm sitting now, like in the past, I took a long car drive. It was grueling. After a certain period of time, my back started hurting. I just got to get out of that car. But then, of course, I go to another seat that was no better. Maybe it was just a different seat, so my back wasn't used to it. And then until I sat in that seat too long, my back started hurt again, and so on and so on. Unless, of course, I got it to the point where I gave it some real rest. Like I said, like a whole day or two of doing nothing. That's what got the clue to me. A whole day or two of doing nothing, the back would repair itself. So I had to determine what was injuring it. And yes, the seats are it, folks. That's all I can tell you. Get one of these things. I mean, you can just get one and carry it around with you. No problem. But I don't do that. I've got several vehicles there, and I find that this matters more if I'm a driver than if I'm a passenger. If I'm a driver, I've got to have this. I'm going to set into some pain in a short period of time if I'm a driver. Passenger, I don't necessarily need it, which is great. But I'm never like a passenger for very long. Usually I'm the one doing the driving, so I can't say that for sure. I'd say, but here's the deal. In whatever vehicles you normally drive, put this obus form backrest in your driver's seat. Get a seat if you don't like the way it looks, which I don't, and I'm not even that picky. Get a car cover that goes over top of the whole seat, goes over your overswarm. You can't even tell it's there. Just make sure it doesn't shift around, because it does shift around. It does move. Make sure it's lined up straight before you put your seatbelt on. Sometimes if it's shifted over, you physically can't get that belt to click. And I know Denise knows all about that, because she's got one in the passenger. We got a driver and passenger on in my Tesla that I drive all the time. It's got 112,000 miles in 2.5 years. Drive it all the time, and I drive other vehicles a lot too. I put a lot of mileage on cars, so this has been a lifesaver for me. I can drive forever, because we know why. When I'm sitting now, I'm in therapy. I'm in back pain therapy when I'm sitting in my driver's seat driving my car. So that's amazing. Some of you may not even believe me, but let me tell you, it's true. Same with your desk chair. Yeah, it's going to make your desk chair look weird, because you're not going to be able to put like a cover over that, right? I mean, and if you do, it's going to look like, I don't even know. It's not going to look right. But you got to get over that. What's more important? Like I said, if you have any kind of back pain, I would absolutely take this advice. And if it doesn't work for you, write it in the comments too. But almost everybody that I've ever given this advice to, and this is why I wanted to make a video, has seen some type of improvement. And I'm talking some people, significant improvement. I mean, I remember years ago, this is probably back in 2005, 2002, I don't know, somewhere around that, maybe even 2000. And we're at 2019 right now. This device has been around for a long time. It's been around since the 90s. And most people just still don't know about it. It prevents a lot of medical procedures and high medical bills. I'll tell you that, for $50-something. The price really hasn't changed over the years. Occasionally you wear it out, you crack the insides, no problem, just get another one. But there have been, I remember one woman who was my son's, I think it was my son, yeah, I think it was his school bus driver. They used to stop, really nice. We lived around like a development that had like a loop. They used to stop right in front of the house, which is great, because they have to drive by there anyway. So I used to talk to her every day. Actually, no, this is a substitute driver. That's right. It wasn't his regular driver. Substitute driver came along, and maybe it was a regular driver, but that doesn't matter. The point is that she had back problems, and I heard about them from her over several times. And then when I kept hearing that this is a problem, it's not going away. And then when I heard that she was scheduled for surgery, I was like, well, at that point, when she was scheduled for surgery, it was soon, I said, here, take my Elvis one. I just gave her the one I have. I bought another one. Try it out, because I know what those bus driver seats back in the 90s, early 2000s looked like. They were just like straight up and down. They were terrible. But don't go under the assumption that your expensive ergonomic seat is any better than that straight up and down board that's in a school bus seat from that era. And I don't even know if the ones that today are even better, but it's probably not. You probably just feel like inside better, like, oh, I'm doing the right thing, but you're probably not. If you've got back pain, it's not working for you. So I gave her this thing. She was scheduled for surgery, and she canceled her surgery. That's what she told me. Canceled it. And I've had other people too that have been along that road to back surgery as well, that have gotten off that road to back surgery just by using this device. It's so simple. It's crazy. I mean, it's kind of like, and that's why I think this is all related. I mean, obviously it's human health, but the whole plant-based and vegan concept is so simple too, and it has such far-reaching benefits. Just like this device, so simple, has such far-reaching benefits. Why doesn't everybody know about this? So many people have back problems. I'd say probably the majority of people have back problems. The only question is how severe, how often does it happen? What does it stop you from doing? And if you have benefits, great. But if, like I said, I have never had benefits. I've always worked for myself, except for a period of a couple of weeks, maybe a month, one winter back in the mid-90s or something like that. That was it. And even that job didn't have benefits. So, have you used this OS form? Let me know in the comments. Because I'm telling you, anybody out there, don't think I'm just bullshitting you here. If you have any problems with your back, but don't think that just the Ovis form alone is going to solve your problems, okay? You got to learn to pick things up right, and you have to really get in that proper BMI. And don't think that surgery is a solution. Here's another thing. I have yet to hear anybody that's had back surgery that reports really good results to me. Like, oh yeah, this is a cure. I'm all good now. There was something wrong and it's fixed now. Maybe that you had some horrific, traumatic, physical accident, injury type of thing that must have surgery. I'm not talking about that, okay? And yeah, go for it. That's what the medical community is there for those types of things. But for something that's lifestyle related, okay, I think that this is most people's back pain is simply lifestyle related. A few small changes, not going to cost you much money, 50 something dollars for one of these things. Anyway, if you're watching this, even if you're not watching it live, if you're watching it later, report back. I'd love to hear some good stories from this. Please share this video with anybody that you know that has back problems, because I'm telling you, even if you don't have back problems, but you know somebody that does, this is a severe problem. Severe pain, incredibly bad pain, and these people are hopeless. And that's why I think that a lot of people, they have nowhere else to turn. They have to have the surgery. And yet the surgery really doesn't make much of any changes. Now, if something's broken in there, something, of course, that's going to help you tremendously. I'm not talking about that. I think that most people don't have surgeries, back surgeries, for those reasons. They've just got ongoing back pain, regular back pain, severe back pain, and that's it. And if you've benefited from this, let me know in the comments too. Tag your friends, like I said, anybody you know that's got back pain. It's nothing to be embarrassed about, but I think it's a pretty straightforward solution, so that's the great thing about this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. And again, like I mentioned in the early part of the video, go to our calendar, plantbasedevents.info, find out about more of our upcoming live in-person, like larger scale events, and we have some small scale events too. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.